Hey, are you Ross? I'm Tyler Duncan. I'm with Anderson County Sheriff's Office. This is Steve. I got assigned the case about the homicide that happened in Pendleton in 2015.
Okay. TV shows that I watch always say, follow the money. And you find out where the real motives are.
This is Ross Valardi. After nearly 8 years of ordinary life, he has no idea the past he tried to bury is about to resurface, because on October 31st, 2015, a quiet Halloween evening in Pendleton, South Carolina, became the scene of the most brutal family annihilation the state had ever seen. 4 relatives, spanning 3 generations, were found dead inside their home, executed at close range. For almost a decade, the killer lived freely, but the truth was never gone. It simply waited. Everything began when their daughter, Amy Valardi, walked up to the house on Refuge Drive.
I went to knock on the door and I walked in. It was dark. I heard TVs on and I flipped the light on and that's about as far as I can go on that one.
For 4 years, the community believed Amy had lost nearly her entire family in one night. She spoke publicly about her grief, struggling to reconcile the violence with her everyday reality.
I keep feeling like I should be waking up from a dream right now, and it's just not happening. So yeah, it's like a movie or something. It's not supposed to be real life.
On November 2nd, 2015, at roughly 12:30 p.m., deputies from the Anderson County Sheriff's Office were called to a home on Refuge Drive. Inside, they found a scene of controlled brutality. 4 family members, 59-year-old Mike Scott, his wife 60-year-old Kathy Scott, Mike's 80-year-old mother Barbara Scott, and Kathy's 82-year-old mother Violet Taylor, lay dead. Each had been shot at close range, some multiple times, and all bore deep defensive wounds across their hands, proof that they fought violently before being overpowered. Blood-smeared handprints along the walls showed that at least one victim tried to escape. Despite the violence, the home had gone unnoticed for nearly an entire day. According to her account, it was Mike and Kathy's 32-year-old daughter, Amy Valardi, who went to check on her parents. At approximately 12:30 p.m., she called 911, initiating a case that would haunt investigators for years.
911 was location of emergency.
Oh my God! I need somebody out here.
What's going on?
Oh God!
There's 4 people.
In my mama's house, and
Who are these people that are in the house?
it's my mom and my grandma and my granny and my stepdad.
By the time deputies arrived, the scene was unmistakable. Execution-style gunshots, multiple victims, and evidence of a violent struggle. Yet the home itself was not ransacked, and the front door was left slightly ajar. Detectives quickly concluded the killer had been invited inside. Whoever committed this crime had arrived without fear, acted without hesitation, and left with confidence. Over time, investigators pieced together the family's last known movements. On Halloween night, Mike and Kathy Scott had handed out candy, watched TV, and spent the evening with their elderly mothers. At some point, someone came to their door, someone they knew, and within minutes destroyed an entire bloodline. But one fact lingered in the background. Amy and her husband, Ross Valardi, were the only close family members left alive. They lived just yards away and claimed they were out of town visiting Ross's parents in Columbia, nearly 90 miles away. Their alibi was straightforward, their demeanors were convincing, and for years, both remained untouched by the investigation. Publicly, Amy maintained the same scripted sentiment. She used the word dream, a phrase investigators flagged as unnaturally scripted for someone who had just discovered a massacre. Those early inconsistencies seemed subtle, but they would matter later. Behind the scenes, detectives slowly uncovered a disturbing conflict within the family. Amy's social media was filled with resentment, accusations that her parents were narcissistic, abusive, and disrespectful. the tension extended to Ross as well. A video posted online captured a heated argument between him and Kathy, revealing hostility simmering beneath the surface.
Why don't you have Grandma come out here real quick?
I don't think your grandma wants to deal with this trash.
I'll show you stuff.
Yep, see ya. Oh,
His tone and words took on new meaning once investigators understood the full context of the case. Despite the growing portrait of conflict, the investigation stalled. There was no physical evidence tying anyone to the scene, no eyewitnesses, and no confession. The case drifted into cold status. Life moved on. Amy and Ross resumed their daily routine, but the cracks in their story began to widen. Investigators noticed shifting explanations from Amy, first insisting nothing was missing from the home, then later claiming a wallet, jewelry, and a purse had vanished. The purse was later found inside the house. The wallet, however, had not. Then there was the lawsuit. In 2016, only months after the murders, Amy and Ross filed a lawsuit against the sheriff's office, demanding the return of their seized belongings, vehicles, electronics, and nearly $90,000 in cash. For a daughter who had just lost almost her entire family, the fixation on money immediately caught investigators' attention. What raised even more suspicion was a detail uncovered shortly before the murders. Mike Scott had photographed a stack of $100 bills inside his car just 2 days before he was killed. When deputies later searched Amy and Ross's trailer, they found an almost identical stack of $100 bills, many bearing the exact serial numbers as those in Mike's photo. Despite the troubling overlap, investigators still lacked direct physical evidence linking the couple to the crime. Everything began to shift in 2023 when investigators reopened the case and returned to early witnesses. One neighbor gave crucial context.
The daughter got angry with her and kept the children from Kathy.
So tell us about that.
It seemed that they really tried to help Amy a lot. And Mike and Kathy, they really took care of the kids. And it broke Kathy and Mike's heart. She just really missed the kids, and the two older ladies that lived there, they were used to the kids coming in and out.
You think Kathy was afraid at all of Amy and Ross?
No, she never expressed that. But it was always the talk of the area that Mike would go to flea markets and he would get some kind of video games that he collected. There was a good resale market for them, and that he would buy any old jewelry that had some gold in it. It was always a rumor that he kept a lot of cash and gold stuff around. And I think you've got to be one sick puppy to go in there and kill two helpless old women. The thoughts that somebody came in and killed those people, I still have nightmares about that.
He described strains within the family, confirming that Kathy and Mike cared deeply for their grandchildren and were devastated when Amy kept them away. From there, detectives interviewed a former employee of Amy and Ross's pet grooming business, someone who had spoken to Amy almost daily.
When I started working for her, I seen Kathy and Mike at the grooming shop. I was in the back grooming, so I didn't hear everything that was going on, but it was something to do with money.
Okay.
Throughout working there, she'd always tell me about how she was treated growing up and all of that.
What kind of stuff would she say about how she was treated?
She told me that she was always a daddy's girl, and she said her dad had he was working on a car and it crushed him and he was placed in the hospital. And her mom decided to pull the plug. She always hated her mom for that.
Detectives soon uncovered a financial reality that contradicted everything Amy and Ross claimed. In 2013, their pet grooming business brought in just $25,622. Yet in 2014, Ross made a string of costly purchases: a $14,200 Ram truck, a $5,700 Mustang, a $10,000 Harley FXE, and a $5,000 Harley XL, despite the business earning only $3,000 that year. Their finances were collapsing, making bankruptcy almost certain. Then, investigators found $67,000 in cash hidden inside their home, which Ross insisted he had saved over time. Detectives doubted it, suspecting the money was taken from the victim's house the night of the murders. But without physical evidence, the theory remained circumstantial. As they scrubbed through hours of CCTV footage from the day of the murders, their attention suddenly fixed on a moment where something ordinary became critical. Ross was seen exiting a gas station that night, wearing Asics Gel Speedstar 5 running shoes. The tread on that specific model was distinctive, and inside the murder scene, bloody shoe prints displayed that exact pattern. The match was so precise that Asics confirmed the sole design was unique. Now, everything came together. The $67,000 hidden in their home, the $100 bills matching the serial numbers Mike photographed 2 days before his death, the financial collapse of their business, the resentments documented online, and shoe prints inside the scene are identical to Ross's shoes. On December 11, 2023, detectives went to confront Ross and Amy directly.
Hey, are you Ross? I'm Tyler Duncan. I'm with Anderson County Sheriff's Office. This is Steve. I got assigned the case about the homicide that happened in Pendleton in 2015.
Okay.
Is Amy here?
Sure.
So since she's the one that called 911, I think you were there also. We'd like to talk to you. If you want to come on out, we'll talk to you and then we can talk to her. Can you describe, I guess, your relationship with Mike and Kathy?
I had a good relationship with Kathy. My relationship with Mike was really great, actually. It kind of turned sideways a little bit July 4th.
So I think y'all had got married that year, is that right?
Correct.
In 2015?
Yes, October 24th.
The 24th. That would have been, what, about a week or so before?
Yep. The last time that I saw Mike and Kathy was before Amy and I left to come down that Halloween. We had just gotten back from my mom and dad's. She went to knock on the back door, but the back door kind of just like was already cracked open or something like that. And that's when she apparently found the scene that she found. She went bolting back out of the house. I think she called 911 before she called me, if I remember correctly.
So you didn't go over to the other trailer?
No.
Or to Mike and Kathy's trailer?
Correct. I never went in that trailer that day.
So after you last seen them, you never went in their place again?
Correct.
Ross maintained that his relationship with the victims was good, only acknowledging minor tension around July 4th, 2015. Detectives let him speak, allowing him to build a version of events that could be dismantled with physical evidence. As questioning continued, Ross shifted the narrative toward Mike's business dealings.
There was a couple things that kind of were red flags, but I don't know if they have anything to do with this or not. Mike bought and sold a lot of items, and some of the people that he was buying from were pretty shady sometimes. That's another kind of red flag that I had as I was trying to just replay like events leading up to the homicide. Should I have seen something?
You're just starting out with this. If you were us, what would you do? What do you think happened there, Ross?
He's the first gentleman that's asked me that. TV shows that I watch always say, follow the money. And you find out where the real motives are.
Ross urged detectives to follow the money, unaware they were already doing exactly that, while he tried to distance himself from the cash found in his home, insisting it came from their grooming business.
They destroyed our business. From January to when this happened, I made just shy of $100,000 with our mobile grooming business. As soon as this happened, with all the media coverage, all of that went away because of this.
And you said you had a large amount of money in your single wide. Is that where the money came from?
The money that was in our single wide in my safe, about $80,000. That was literally the savings between Amy and myself.
Detectives knew those numbers were incompatible with reported income. Next, they turned to Amy.
So can you tell us a little bit about that weekend when were you gone, when you got home and you found the bodies, or what happened?
He brought his mom, my mother-in-law, to do Halloween. We went down there, we spent the weekend.
What day did y'all leave to go down?
Friday night.
Friday night.
I drove myself quite crazy for about a couple of years there. And I've chosen to step away, and I've got to be healthy, and I've got kids, and I've got a life to live, and if somebody else dropped the ball on it, it's not on me anymore.
Okay. Well, if we just ask Ross a couple more things, then we'll be out of here.
She repeated the same alibi, leaving Friday night to spend Halloween with Ross's mother. Detectives recognized the pattern: distancing, measured calm, and self-protection. Finally, they pressured Ross about potential consequences.
For instance, Amy and I decided to, or if I decided to take a deal,
right,
mine is going to be better than Amy's because I came to the trough first, right?
Right.
So prison time, no matter what. Amy, prison time, no matter what. My 3 kids in here, they grew up without a father and a mother. Granted, my mother would be more than willing to take them. I understand that.
We're not the ones who put you on this predicament. Now you're going to have to deal with the consequences.
10, 20 years in prison. That's best case minimum scenario, I would imagine, right?
It's better than the rest of your life or death, isn't it?
I mean, it might as well be one of those two. By the time I get out, my kids aren't going to know who the f- I am. I mean, the other option is I probably need to talk to a lawyer at this juncture here.
He openly discussed plea deals, acknowledged the likelihood of prison time, and considered the impact on his children. When the pressure peaked, he invoked his right to an attorney. Within days, the case broke open. Amy and Ross were arrested and charged with the murders of all 4 victims. In court, their attorneys pushed back.
People who are guilty don't hire attorneys. People who are going to run don't hire attorneys. They, for 8 years, were able to move where they wanted. They could visit where they wanted, travel where they wanted, run if they wanted, move to a country that doesn't have extradition if they wanted, but they didn't. They stayed here. In fact, the sheriff's department was at Valardi's house on December the 11th, trying to get Ross Valardi to turn on Amy Valardi, trying to elicit a confession. You would think that if they had enough evidence that they would not be needing to try to elicit this confession. But they were there. They pulled Ross outside. They talked to both of them. There was no confession given that day. 2 days later, on the 13th of December, I met with Amy and Ross Valardi because they felt like they were under suspicion. They were being harassed by the sheriff's department.
Amy's attorney pushed back forcefully, and Ross's attorney had his own points to make.
And that's what we've heard today. The state of South Carolina making bold statements, and the sheriff, the family, and saying what they're saying to the community. We believe Ross did this, and since we believe he did this, you need to keep him in jail. But that's not the way the criminal justice system works. The criminal justice system is not complicated. What we look at actual evidence. We don't look at theories.
Today, Amy and Ross Valardi, await trial, facing the possibility of life in prison without bond. They continue to maintain their innocence, legally presumed innocent until proven guilty or until a plea agreement is reached. As the case moves toward court, the unanswered questions still cast a long shadow. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe justice is finally closing in? And if you want more true crime breakdowns like this, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned.